that shiny bald head. Not much I can do about that right now. Oh, I can do one thing real quick. Hold on. Let's see if this is helpful. Is that better? It took a little bit of the shine away. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Well, let's talk. You and me and you. We are getting ready for shipping. My publisher is coming up. He's going to take my books away. I have signed them all, and they are, what does this one say? They each have a verse. It says Galatians 5:13. That's from the Targum. Testament of Job. Testament of Job has Job 28:12. Sign that one there. Word of Yahweh unto Enoch has Enoch 10:17. Jude chapter 20 chapter 1. There's always just one chapter in Jude, so it's verse 21. And then Noel, actually the guy who wrote the intro to this, wrote Proverbs 20:12. So that's a dual signature. He wrote the foreword to this. He's a great guy. Here's Adelphoi. If you've seen a couple of my other broadcasts, I had the poster up. This is signed with Psalm 82:6. Richest Man in Babylon has a big old signature. And My Flat Earth has Romans 1:20. Oh, I should show you that, shouldn't I? There you go. All right. I've got some, what is this? Asian crops for Georgia Coastal Gardens. You don't need to know about that. Although you would be interested to know that I can't really grow pawpaw trees here, which is sad, because I like pawpaws. Got some artwork, and it is currently flattening out my stickers that got misaligned by weathering, and they're kind of like goofy and crooked. So I need to press those. That's what those happening right there. I'll get them better pressed later. I'll show you what I got going on. So in this secret stash I have right here, I have excuse me, from the first batch, I have my spice. This is the Blackbeard Creek Original, and that's the first one there. Not the first one, but from the first batch. And then in here I have all three flavors at the moment. I have Blackbeard Creek Silken Sails. There's Silken Sails right there. Delicious. This goes on your biryani. Can also go on your rice. It can go on a lot of things. Blackbeard Creek Shiver Me Embers. Shiver Me Embers. Yarg meaty. And there's the original seasoning. Deliciousness. So I've got those kind of tucked away. I'm gonna try it on my coffee one day. I haven't done that yet. Will that fit in there? Nope. Okay. I don't know why, I have an extra bottle of Cajun. And then I have original, and this is my own personal stash, what I use every day in my daily shake. Man, I just love it so much. I put it on a lot of things. If you actually go to the order page, you can see, like, scroll down the photos, there's just things, just trying it on different things. It's pretty good on a lot of things. And I have boxes of that ready to go. For instance, get this box here. Inside this box from Sticker Mule, and they gave me mule sauce, which is okay. Sticker Mules, who did my labels. I'm just going to show you that. I'm not taking anything out. So many spices. So many spices. Oh yeah. Okay. And then we are ready to go. What I think I might want to talk to him about is my. Okay, see all these. Not those. Those right there. These are almost 12 by 12. And they're acrylic latex. You know what? Screw this noise. I'm sorry I'm going to have to turn the light back on, even though my shiny head will be the star of the show. Hopefully your eyes didn't just burn out from that change in the lighting. How do I center without looking at a mirror reflection? So you can see some of the different types of paint. Spray paint, latex, acrylic, and I've got a little hanging system, fishing wire, and some construction adhesive. Fishing line? Is it just called line? Anyway, this is number 6. And I have plenty of them. I'll show you. I don't know, maybe I can work out a deal where I can send these with him and then I can sell them. This is number 29. And they are all, right, from 6 to 29, they're all basically the same paints. They have the same things going on. You can see the spray paint background. Yes, one is brown, one is blue. I ran out of the blue. Blue is what I started with. And then I've got the blue splotch. I've got the black on top of the blue. I've got the pink splotch. I've got the yellow blob with the green on it. I've got a green spot spray paint. We've got the yellow circle spray paint. The stripes, the orange line, the green line, the light green lines. Yeah, it's basically the same thing, except different iterations of the idea of the same thing. So it's not the same thing, right? They're all different and unique. Aha! That's how I do. Unlike this one was just a one-off. This is just some scrap lumber that I used. That's just a one-off. And there's a lot going on there. Can we focus, please? Focus. Boy, howdy. There we go. How do I change focus settings? Yeah, that big old seam on that. I'm not sure what wood this is. But it was, like I said, it was just scrap. I'll do that all the time. Oh, here's something fun. This dude right here. Very, very eldritch. Very evil looking. That's just a skull. Spray painted in green and black. And that was it. And I was like, oh, that's simple enough. Cool. So, getting ready for shipping. Don't know. I don't know when to call it quits. I really don't. My sound panels. Hold on one second. We'll go ahead and give you a little bit there. So my paneling panels, soundproofing panels, sound baffles, baffling baffles. I'm completely baffled by these baffles. Got them out last night, and they need to expand. Excuse me, just a little bit more. Oh, I think that might be a wear pattern. I don't think that's going to expand a little bit more. I think that's as big as they get. Something interesting and fun that I found when I watch other people install their baffles is they get out the level, they get out their square, they get out the guides, the chalk line, and then they put them up, perfectly like this. I'm like, okay, if you can hang these in about 15 hours and no one's ever going to see them, right? I'm not putting them over there on that spot of the wall. I'm putting them here. Man, I don't want you looking at this stuff. I've got other interesting things for you to look at. So Why are you spending 100 hours trying to put them perfectly 90 at a 90? Instead, if you just tack it at a 2 inch, you can hang them perfectly at a 45 with an eighth of the time, a 16th of the time, and it won't matter. They're going to do the exact same thing. Matter of fact, they will probably do more. Man, a lot. Hold on one second. I'm so sorry that happened to you. They'll probably do more if you hang them at this 45 because the bottom will be loose and it'll be able to capture waves behind it at some small point. So, for instance, all 4 of these are tucked in. Not this one. I'm not sure what, I'll hide that one where I can't see it because it'll bug me. Ah, it's bugging me right now. Okay. I'm going to hang that perfectly. I can't. How am I so bad? How am I so bad at this? Okay. Anyway, at a complete true to the room, because nothing is ever plumb. Plumb is up and down, and that's at a 90 perpendicular. How long is that going to take me? Especially to do that big stack. I've got a lot. I've got more in the closet. Got 2 packets of them. How long will that take? Like hours and hours just to be a checkerboard. You want a perfect checkerboard? I'm like, why are you just put it like that? And they can hang it at 45. And it's still going to do the exact same thing. And you've saved yourself 5 hours of work. Or 4 or whatever, 3. You're still saving time. And that's the important thing to recognize about life and wealth creation. See, I have to adjust my camera again. My screen is so big. Hold on a second. Let me show you my screen. We're going to come from Polly's view. Look at that thing. Oh, I love doing this. Watch this, you ready? Oh, that's the good. That's just so wonderful. I'm such a little kid. But that's my view. That is my boring view. Hold on a second. See that? You really can't see it. That is the light switch, and that is the polyheart.com bumper sticker. This whole room is tax deductible because this is all I do in this room is stuff for Polyheart. Even that board, I wrote my name on there. I need new markers. So I have these markers and they're almost dry. But that is just a boring view, you know? And nobody wants this view. Although, I will show you a pro tip. I didn't get that for $149. I got that for like $5. And I don't have to pay $365 subscription fee anymore. Because I found a deal. What? No. Focus on something else. Okay, I got my cord tangled. This office. Come on, work with me, not against me. What's the center of the screen? Man, hold on one second. Froggy again. Boy, I'll tell you. It is Weekstart. That's what I'm calling this, Weekstart. Weekstart is the beginning of the week. My calendar has Sunday at the far left. It's beginning of the week, so I'm like, okay, cool. I'll figure it out. If they can make weekend one word, why can't I make week start one word? Because week beginning is too long to type out. So, got my shipping ready for my publisher of books and spices, and I'm pressing my bumper stickers. I have some bumper stickers that are probably not ever going to go back out to the public. Maybe I should get more of these. Polyheart.com. They are actually clings for your car or your laptop. Big ones. And I don't know. I'll sell them for $100 each. I have a lot of these. EmpiresandGenerals.com. I thought I ran out, but then I found this stash. But then they were sitting in some water, so the backs are damaged. So I'm like, I don't really want to give those away because they look like bleh. They're still a good sticker, but I have to lay them flat to get them pressed. And then I have two types here. And I just, I can't remember who did that. One of those sticker companies. It wasn't Sticker Mule. I think it was Sticker Guy. Sticker Guy just has the thing every now and again. You get a discount if you just tell them, you know, just give me the text. I don't care what it looks like. And they're like, okay. And I think I got 100 stickers for like $10. Something like that. 10 cents a piece. And it's not indelible, right? It you know, sticker can come and go, but it's fun. You put it on your laptop. Every laptop I have, I don't know where they are. I have one downstairs. Hold on a second. I always decorate my laptops with stickers. Fun times. I'll tell you one thing. Sometimes, if you figure it out with your country's tax incentives, you can find out how to not pay taxes where they want you to pay taxes. So here in the United States of America, there's more lines in the tax code about how not to pay taxes. So I realized that with my Schedule E, I could write this entire room off as long as majority of my, you know, of my space is where I'm working in this space. So as for jobs. So if I'm you know, doing my time for money, which everybody does time for money because we live in time. And I spent, you know, whatever, 100 hours working on these books, these stories. Working on these stories, and then I put it out there. Suddenly, as a product, I don't ever have to touch it again. I can let it pay for itself because I did my work and then I get paid. Instead of the opposite where you go to a job where you work and then get paid. So that's why I'm all about products, not services. I love products, and what I do in this room is I write products, I make products, I create products. I don't create the spices in this room. This is not a sanitary room, so I need a place for that as a sanitary. But I can market them. You know, I could say, hey, check it out. Come and get some spices. I just put them all away, didn't I? Oh. Maybe I should have them out. You know what? I don't have any paper copy. I don't have any displays for these. I don't have any. That's what I was kind of like working when I was doing the Dairy Queen thing, and I was fixing their machines. I would go in there at night and fix their machines. I've got videos about that everywhere on my website and on YouTube. Oh, see, just my dirty, grubby hands from working in the garden and moving boxes and whatever else I've been doing. Not really sanitary, but they are inside of this bottle, and the bottle is obviously sealed. So, you know, take that as with a grain of salt, with a grain of spices. But I do need to, I think when I do my next batch of spices, I'm going to go rent out what is it called? Like a big kitchen, and then pay them because they're approved and licensed and whatever else, and go pay them and say, hey, let me rent your space for like 5 hours and make the batch, because they've got a FDA regulated, or hold on one second. a food service establishment, whatever it's called, the health board, whoever comes with specs. They've got a regulated hood, a vent hood. Like vent hoods are like, I don't even know if you know this, but anybody who works in the restaurant industry, vent hoods are like $10,000 sometimes. It's ridiculous, and I'm not going to pay that just to make spices. Georgia has a cottage kitchen license you can apply for, but my kitchen downstairs is not rated. I'd have to change my oven. Everything has to be stainless or something like that. Yeah, I'd have to do a lot even there. So I think my best bang for my buck is I have to go and rent out a industrial kitchen. So I can't even. So like for instance, at Costco, like I got the Kirkland organic cinnamon. I can't even open this up without fear of getting. Hold on one second. My voice is doing that thing again, where I sound like I'm underground inside of a gravel pit. I really should be drinking hot tea instead of Mountain Dew. But you know why Mountain Dew is this color, right? Because when it flows down the streets of heaven, it turns gold. Anyway, so I'm using Saigon cinnamon, and for me, I don't have a standard right now. I'm just using cinnamon as cinnamon. It's cinnamon, so there it is. Probably at some point, I want to use Ceylon cinnamon instead of Saigon cinnamon. And I want to use a different grain, parts per million. There's lots of science that goes into it, but for now, it's good enough. I might do a signature label or a white label from a big company where I have to pay them like, I don't know, $450. They have my recipe, and then they have the NDA, and then they can just make it, and I pay them up front to make it, and then they ship it to me. And they make it all. So I might do that. That's the initial upfront cost that I don't have right now. Right now, I have not broken even on the spices. But that's not to say that I'm almost there. I think I'm like $385 remainder to break even, and I'll ship this bundle of spices out, and then we can make the money. And then I'll break even. And then everything after that, on this batch, where I still have like, I think 100 more, I should be able to break even. And then everything else is profit. So for profitability's sake, this room is tax deductible. So everything I buy for this room becomes tax deductible. Like the black storage units, I've got these storage units. You might see the pile of clothes on the floor. Because hopefully, this is all, hold on, there we go. So this is my PPE drawer, and let's say these beautiful suspenders cost me $20. And they've got the clips on them, so I have to have a belt. These sweats don't have a belt. But these PPE, I can use these, like this is a suspender. I got these old operator pants, I think, rain gear from an army surplus for like 10. They're really nice. I'm not sure what branch of the U.S. Armed Forces use these. I also have a vest I need to press. I'll show it to you. Oh, I've got another one. Hold on. Oh, it's the ensemble. So I've got my I've got my vest and my shirt. See this old style button-up shirt. And I've got my slacks are inside. Just a khaki. This is part of my get-up when I go and put on my busker badge. In Savannah, Georgia, you have to have a badge showing who you are. And then I do historical tours. Oh, here's my hat. So you can just imagine. I might wear it one day just for you. This is also tax deductible. as a side hustle. Excuse me. Oh. And before I lose track of it, I'm going to put this back in there. And I'm going to move it to kind of where this stuff was. Oh, for instance, here we go. Here's more of that foam that I need to install. I don't know if you can tell, but there's an echo in this room. I have a new microphone coming. The new mic will be here soon. Doesn't it bug you when you can't see the guy's head who's talking? Yeah, see, but then we have these lights, which is a problem. What if I did this? That's just ugly as heck. They have settings on where I can change to a gold. Oh, is that awful? Great. Oh, yes, Lord. What about half and half? Nah. What about just 2? That's just ominous. Now all you can see is this glistening, glowing, shiny head. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do for you guys. I'm gonna put on a hat. Yep, and let's do it. Hold on, you ready? You hold it away from you like this. Oh, it's covered in cat hair. Hold it away from you like this. Curl it, and then bend your elbow as you come up. You do it really fast. It looks kind of neat. And then you can do a flourish. I don't know what you think, but what I think. That's me in the corner. Oh my goodness. And now you can. Okay, I do have a microphone on the way. That's just crazy. I'm putting this away. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Oh, you know what else I should ship with my buddy? Is my boomerangs. I make boomerangs. Because why not? I had some time in the woodshed. Make some boomerangs. I haven't decorated them at all. And that's exactly what they need, is they need decoration. So I'm not going to ship these. But eventually I shall. Surely shall. Okay, we covered the room. The pile of baffles. Pile of trash. Take out the trash real quick. Out of the room. Man, this chair, I tell you what. You hear that? I know it makes that sound when I sit down. I'm just not aware of it. Yeah, crunch, crunch. All right, I'll invest in a new chair. I can hear you yelling at me, Polly. That chair has just been beat up. Oh yeah. But how much did I pay for this chair? So that's why. Man, I don't want to pay for anything. I don't have to. This rug. Now it's not this rug here, but a rug very similar to it. I was driving down the road, and I saw it, and it was just rolled up next to the trash. I picked it up, put it in the back of my truck, brought it home, and unrolled it. And I will tell you, the worst cat and dog excretions, vomit, poo, pee just came wafting out of it. And I was, about to die. So then I just got my water hose, put the garden hose attachment on it, the sprayer thingy, and then just doused it in Dawn. And when I clean windows, I use Dawn. You can also use palm olive. Just make sure there's no fragrances or lotions in it. And you can use Ajax, but don't finish with Ajax. Finish with Dawn. And I just put it on there and just drenched it and soaked it and just as much as I could. I should have power washed it. Didn't have a power washer at the time. And then just as much as I could. This thing was so heavy. So I kind of rolled it back up, set it back up like a sausage, vertical wise, and then just kind of like, as I was heaving it over a fence, I unrolled it as best as I could, and of course now I'm soaked. And then I did it again, and I washed it again, and that water that came out of there was just brown and nasty, and I did that, and it was probably wet for a good 4, 5, 6 days, but after that I popped it off, and it did not smell. It did not smell at all. So we used it inside for maybe, I don't know, a good 6 years. But it was a free rug that no one. So here's the thing. Let's take. All right. Let's take this. For instance. There's one of these in the world. You may like it, you may hate it. Here we go. There we go. You may like it, you may hate it. You may think it's not done yet. You may think it's ugly. And it's on a piece of garbage wood. Of course I sanded this, but then it got just dirty again. But this has been treated, and now this is beautiful. So you might argue. I don't know, it might not be beautiful to you, but to some it might be beautiful. I have taken something that was already there, added components, and created something else. Now, it's not an actual creation, it's an invention, because a creation, I think John 1 and Genesis and Revelation all covered that nothing else is going to get created, except at the very, very end. But that's just theology. But what I've done is I've invented something. So before I was making these, like, vinyl stickers already existed. The vinyl machine, the plotter. I think I used Scanbeck Amiable and a 90-inch plotter. The font already existed. These words, these letters already existed. I bought this website. That existed. But putting it together in this design, that's never existed. And then I made a bunch of them. And then I did a smaller version in silver, which is pretty cool. Now, that never existed, but I took things that already were and then invented something else. So, for instance, that piece of art, I only made the one because I'm not into mass production of art. That's called Hobby Lobby. That's that type of thing I'm not into. I'm not into mass production unless it's those big ones in the box where they're all the same but they're all different. And like with I put away number 6, didn't I? So I'm going to take number 29 and I'll flip them over and take number 10. Alright, so from number 10 to number 29, sorry. I'm not good with numbers. You can have the exact same ingredients. You can have the exact same ingredients, right? Hello, how are you today? My name is Mr. Polly. Exact same ingredients, exact same type of manufacturing production facility, which was outside on the ground. The exact same idea, but your reality is that you're going to get different results each time. So that's why, somebody just said it and I just heard it because I'm telepathic. My spices. I want the exact same thing every single time. I want my industry standard to be the same. This is a great example. And whoever said that in the audience, thank you. Because I wasn't paying attention to my own words. Now, for shipping purposes, I put them in these little plastic bags. Okay. Blackbeard Creek original seasoning. with the cap is black, and everything else is sealed up. And when it's sealed up, it's tamped down, and so there's like hardly any room at all. I smush it. I make those spices as tight as I can so that the customer experience, the value can be greater. Because I hate it when you get like a bag of potato chips and it's 85% air. Oh, you want to talk about anger? Make Polly angry. I didn't pay for air. I didn't pay for this nasty air from your facility. All right. So this is the exact same thing, except it's not. Why? Because I ran out of black lids. So the red lids are supposed to be for the Cajun. Oh, well, I can buy more black lids, but they haven't come yet. Or I can ship them with the red lids. You know what, though? I probably should ship them with the black lids only. But for the time being, right here they sit with red lids. Now, I do want this to taste exactly the same. And that is because inside of your creation of beauty, obviously, with books as well, inside of your invention, you want it to have a standard. So I had, and I think she still has that review up. If you go to my biblical cosmology book on Amazon, you can see I have a review from a lady who, like, the text was like mashed up and backwards and just ridiculous. So every single version, okay, we're going to turn to page 64. 64 of The Richest Man in Babylon Continued Stories. This book is going to look like this book. Let's check it out. Find out if we're right. Now, obviously, I don't work at the Amazon facility. I don't know who is making these. But I know that they are made. And I know that they are, they're made the same. There's such a thing called drift in printing. Drift in printing is when inside of the blocks of text, you'll have something go a couple of millimeters to the right or to the left. That's just because the machine is drifting. You'll experience drift. That's why when they say, hey, here's your title, and this is a type title. Like, I have no margin for error because I wanted my drift to be on fleek. There's my cover, my spine. So the spine drifted a little bit. You can tell that the text is a little bit more towards the bottom. And this text on this one is a little bit more centered. So this one had almost no drift. Just a little bit still. A little bit still. That's okay. And there's the back. Recreating a classic. And really, it's not creation, it's invention. But most of the time, if you're doing those two types of things, where you invent something and then you mass produce it, other than, I tried to do that with the boomerangs, but they came through doing that. So I'll show you some more boomerangs. They're in my window. I just shoved them up in the window because I didn't have anywhere else to display them. I said, maybe this will work. Duh, did not work. All right. And I had maybe 13 more. But they're all various sizes. Now here's some with actual art on it. It's minimalist art, and that's okay. But they don't always look the same. Like, obviously they're going to be a little bit different. And these are non-returning boomerangs. These are wall hangings. I did not make returnable boomerangs. It is a ridiculous aerodynamic chore, and I am not that skilled. So I did not do it. Different woods. Different wood. I'll tell you the truth. Most of these are old pickets. This is a picket. A picket is a fence panel for fencing. Here's a different design. It's got the strange leafy, I don't know what it is. But without paint on them, without designs, they're not done, so I'm not going to ship them. Yeah, I just had some extra pickets after I redid a fence, and I was like, what am I supposed to do with all these pickets? So I found the best ones, the ones that weren't split in the back. Some of them I had to repair the backs of them. Oh, I'll show you one that didn't get repaired, right? The one in the window. I thought I had it all, but it broke. It broke like a joke. But on the backs of it, I did a little bit of spot repair with some, I don't know, it's like a putty, not like a wood filler, but like a quick patch. And it was excess stuff I used on the floor, but it snapped anyway. So I probably could repair it, but I don't know. I might not waste my time. I just keep the dead boomerang sitting around. What you got there, Mr. Paulie? Well, it's a boomerang, you see. It used to be a boomerang. So, here we are, and we are at about 41 minutes into the session. What is the session? I wanted to show you how the room is coming. I wanted to show you what I'm shipping. I wanted to show you how you can create wealth yourself. Okay, 80% of businesses are service-based industries. At small businesses, 80% of small businesses are service-based. So if you wanted to say, hey, I want to start a, like I did, like I wrote in my book, you want to start a window washing business, you can go down to the janitorial supply company or Home Depot or Menards or Lowe's or whatever you want. Spend about, used to be $100, but now it's probably around $200. And you can buy an Etori mop with a squeegee and some extra rubbers, some cloths, a bucket, 5-gallon bucket. You can use the stuff at your house, like if you have the soap at your house. And basically, what you want to do with the 5-gallon bucket to make the professional dishwashing detergent soap, which is what we use. I don't know. In a 5-gallon bucket, I'm going to fill it halfway to about 2.5, and I'm going to go with like this with the regular bottle of Dawn. That's it. Upside down. That's it. So what's that? 3 tablespoons, something like that. Maybe. And then just kind of stir it up. If you want to, you can get the lemon scented ammonia. Lemon scented ammonia, just a touch, just a splash of lemon scented ammonia. You don't want regular ammonia because then it smells like cat pee, but you want lemon scented ammonia. And then you just go and then you swish it around. You put your, man, I should do a window washing video. Anyway, you put your handle with your mop, which is what that long, typically it's blue and white, what that thing is, and then you just go out there into the world and you start knocking on doors. Hey, let me wash your windows. So water is free, typically. You can get it for cheap. The buckets, the pole, I don't ever really go out there with a ladder. I don't want to do anything with the ladder. I'm just going to do it with a pole. You can do everything on a 2-story house from a pole. I'm not going to get on a ladder. No, thank you. And yeah, you just get out there, and that's the service-based industry. And you've got it. You can knock on doors. You're spending time to do a service. Time for service. Time for service. And that's okay. You can get started like that. But here's the trick. I can do time. I can do time, and I can make a product, and then I never have to touch this product again. I don't have to service this product. I don't have to put a warranty program on this product. I don't have to come back and check the product's okay, because it's going to cost you what, like $6 or $7 to $8 on Amazon.com to buy The Richest Man in Babylon: Continuing Stories. And you can buy it, and then you have this, and then it's at your house, or it's on your Kindle, or your tablet, or whatever. You don't have to, as the creator or the inventor of this product, ever really touch it again. It's not a service. The service is them picking up the book and reading it themselves. That's on them. But I've created a product, and every single product that I create this intellectual property marches into the future as its own employee. And it's going to have its own traction. It's going to have its own analytics, just like this video. It's going to have 1,000 analytics, 1,000 things I can look at. Oh, did they stay the whole time? Did they come in and then leave really quickly? Or at what point was the most interesting point of your video where all the viewers were all there and they all stayed for this 5-minute segment or whatever? I don't care. But they all have that. And I can micromanage that. I can go around and you can see these guys on YouTube. This are the 5 tricks you need for a successful video. Man, okay. Yeah, that's great. And I'm going to learn something from that, but I'm not going to micromanage, man. No. No. My time is more valuable. George Bernard Shaw, Mark Hamill, Jim Williams, Mike Tyson, anybody, JP Morgan, they spend time to make money. When you go to your company and they say, "Oh, I make 15 an hour," and they don't pay more than 15 an hour. Well, yeah, they do. They just don't pay you more than 15 an hour. They pay you 15 an hour because what you're doing is remedial. There's not a lot of skill there. It's something that can be taught. You're a meat sack in their production line, basically, and that sucks, and I hate that. And I've lived in that whole idea that I'm just a cog in the machine. However, when you start increasing your skill set, then you become more valuable. Like, for instance, I'll just take the Dairy Queen thing for a quick example, because it's really odd that was my first storefront job when I was 16, and then later, as an adult, full-grown adult, I went back to Dairy Queen. That's the second job, because I was working as a tour guide at night and working at Dairy Queen, and then for some reason my mortgage lender said, "Well, you like don't hardly make any money," and I was making it all in tips from the tour gig, so they didn't like that. And it was like, well, I can't prove to you when you start taking pictures every night. Here's my $80 that I made in 2 hours, so that's $40 an hour. So I couldn't prove it, so they weren't having it. So I had to go get a JOB. Yeah, what do you do? So that they could say, okay, now you're approved for this and this and this. Maybe, that was a life choice. That was a decision I had to make. But I made that decision, and I stuck with it, and then I went to a JOB. But I had to leave Dairy Queen. Short story long, of course, because that's poly style. At Dairy Queen, I went in already knowing how to do, it's called the ball and curl. You go, hold the machine down. Like that. I think I just made a medium. Because the medium has 3, large has 3, small has 2, kitty has 1. Yeah, child and kitty have 1. And then pup cup goes in the cup. But, I already knew how to do that. What I didn't know how to do was clean the grease machine. I didn't, or the fryer later. Actually, I kind of already did because of another job when I was the manager of the kitchen at Pete's Bar, which is now the library in West Lafayette, Indiana, on Chauncey Hill. Anyway, that's a different world. So, I went in there to Dairy Queen, and basically, I was training for the kitchen side, which is called the grill, and then over at the ice cream side is called the chill. And the manager, Bob, he said, "Well, wait a minute, you're over here getting trained over here, but didn't you work at Dairy Queen before?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I was, when I was 16, my first job was squeezing limes. I had to squeeze 100 limes every day for the fresh squeezed limeade." And that was the thing back in the day. Woo, man, what a job. Working as a fruit squeezer. So he said, "But you still know how to do the ball and curl?" And I said, "Oh yeah, And I was like, what's he talking about? Because I hadn't heard that phrase before in like, 30 years. And I was like, yeah. And so I get up there and I get a small, and I said, ball and girl. All right, here we go. You ready? And I knew it was 2 because he had just made 1. So I go, like that. And then I said, you want sprinkles or chocolate for the dips? He goes, chocolate. So I get over there to the chocolate and stir. He said, you used to the old chocolate. I said, oh, we don't have to stir that much anymore? He's like, no, you don't have to. But you kind of still did. And I go, like that. And that's it. That's a small dip cone. He was so impressed with that skill that I had picked up when I was 16 years old that I was moved to the chill side. What do you do about that? So I never got the training on the grill side, and I stayed on the chill side, and I was like a man and not a teenage kid. So I was able to open in the morning, and so I opened the store. Supposed to be there at 9 o'clock, and then I worked until 2. And then I went and got changed and got dressed and drove downtown to Savannah, and they did the tour thing every day. That was so much fun. Then I realized over the course of time, hold on 1 second. Over the course of being there for a while, that we needed to change this ice cream top out because it was really nasty and really dirty. So we still had the main guy, like his name is Chris, and he's actually, when you watch the training video on the Dairy Queen home website, that's his hand doing all the things with the machine. So he's like the guy who like not only trains, but he like trained forever, trained the video side. So he was there and he showed me how to take it apart, put it back together. And then we had 3 people who had just gone to the manager thing in Minneapolis, St. Paul. I think that's where the headquarters is at. And they had just come down, and so one of them was showing another lady how to do it. Neither of them stayed very long at all. But I just kind of like watched them. So one day I took it apart, and I did it wrong because it was a mess. So I took it apart and cleaned it and put it back together. And I was like, oh man, I better not do it wrong. So I did one side the whole way through, and then did the other side. So I'd make sure, because it's on a tailor machine that they have, it's 2 sides. So I made sure I did it right, put it back together myself, and then in the morning, the other manager came in and says, did you clean these machines? I said, yeah. Who taught you how to do that? Well, Nand did. Nand was the guy who didn't last very long. Nand did. And Nand didn't, but I watched him enough to say that, yeah, he could have said, oh, if you watch me, then you know how to do it. He said, well, did you put the thing back right? I said, what thing? He said, this thing, and he pulls it out. I said, no, I did not. So that's exactly where that is. It's in your hand. It's not in the machine. Well, it's not gonna work right if this is out. I said, all right, well, let's fix that. So I had to clean it again and put the machine back right. Made a horrible mistake, but he didn't yell at me. He approved of my initiative. I got a raise. And then, I got a raise a month later when they made me the supervisor. He never called me the supervisor, so I quit doing the managerial tasks. Like, they have what's called the Red Book. And he's supposed to do that. And he had me do that. And I quit because he never gave me props. He'd tell everybody, this is Polly. He's the king of chill. I'm like, and? Yeah, you're it, man. You're the man. You're the king of chill. And? So, if I would ever discipline anybody, they'd say, you're not my supervisor. I said, I am the shift supervisor. Nobody else has told me that. I said, okay. So I just quit being in management. I quit being supervisor. I said, fine, I'm the king of chill. If you're not going to recognize me, my paycheck recognizes me, then that's all right. You know what? Less responsibility for me, that's fine. So at that time, when I was dissed so hard by him, my paycheck still reflected it. And I got to that pay raise by learning another skill that I started taking everything apart. I just went and found, I said, hey, Bob, hey, Richa, where are the operator manuals for this, this, and this? Why do you want those? I just want to look at them. Why do you want to look at them? I'm just curious. Okay, well, they're over there. So I'd go and I'd read them on my break, and I'd read them just when there's nothing else to do. Once I cleaned, I would just read those. What are you reading that for? I said, so if it breaks, I know what to do. And I got a lot of harsh criticism from my peers, Brian, Sam, the other guys, Big Al. He got fired so fast. He would drink on the job. He'd have a big cooler, and it would be full of wine. And it was just drinking wine on the job all day long. Oh my God, what an idiot. Working with open flames, drinking wine. Sorry, Richa. I didn't mean to diss your store. He was fired, so praise God there. I actually helped get him fired. And I just kept on learning, kept on growing, but I got shit for it. They kept dissing on me. Disregard, disrespect, D-I-S from the 90s. And yeah, I didn't care. I just let the stuff go off the back and kept learning these machines. And I said, you know what though, even if I leave here, you're paying me to learn a skill. And that's mind-blowing. So now I know how to take apart and put back together a tailor machine. I'm not qualified to go to your local McDonald's and fix their tailor machine. I'm sorry, that's on Taylor. But to go in there and just take the top out and take the middle out and take the bottom out, I can do all that on that one machine. And I could probably figure it out on these other machines because it's pretty much just put it back where you got it from. Oh. And from there, I quit Dairy Queen and then was rehired later as just the guy that cleaned the machine. And I got paid $100 a machine. And it took me 4 hours. So I was getting paid $200 for 4 hours. That's pretty quick math if you find out what I made per hour. Because Norman Vincent Peale, Betty Davis, they all got paid per hour. It's just depending on the gig, right? Christian Bale. It depends on the gig. Like if he's doing Batman or if he's doing the mechanic, different gig, different pay rate, right? But they're all getting paid per hour. Like a really good, Charlie Munger, great investor. But if he had to sit there and look at 100 deals on what to invest in, Alex Hormozy, really good investor, top of the line YouTuber. He has to look at 1,000 deals, and he has to sift through the who, what, when, where, why, how. He has to sift through the EBITDA, the EBITDA. He has to look at all of these different deals, the cash on cash return. He has to look at the profit loss margin. He has to look at all these different analytics and say, is this valuable? Is this worth investing in? And he's still spending his time. But if he finds 2 out of 100, okay, let's just say 1 out of 1,000. If he finds 1 out of 1,000 that is really worth his time, energy, and money to invest in, then he's going to say, okay, I'm going to say no to 999 and say yes to this one. So when he goes in there and makes, let's just say a cool $1 million, and that's net. If he makes a cool net $1 million, he goes in there, did he make $1 million in 1 second? No. Let's say he put 100 hours into these 1,000. All right, is that $1 million over 100? No. Did he do that? Because he had to have the skill set to get to that point, to look at these 1,000. So you have to take all his training in the back and then say, that's his that's his gross, all the training and skill. But if he woke up in the morning, worked on these 1,000, did 100 hours of that, and then from there found the one, that'd be his net. His net time investment versus return on investment. So ROI, return on investment, what he was actually getting. And that's his per hour rate. If it was 100 hours, if it was 1,000 hours, still $1 million is a pretty good amount for $1,000. It's 1,000 hours worth of work. So if I worked on this book for 100 hours, and I wrote this book before the copyright went away to the original, George Clayson. So it was ready. And then I reread the original and reread the original. So maybe there's 250 hours. And if I have made $250, is that $1 an hour? No. Why? Because that'll travel into the future forever. When I am dead and gone in the year 2085. When am I going to die? I can't remember. Anyway, $20.95, 2300, the 80-2300. That book will still be out there. And somebody will be making money on it. You know, if you're one of my inheritors, you can make the money on it. So, I love you. Be blessed. Don't be stressed. Do your best. Pray that it's blessed. He'll take care of the rest. All right? Go out there and love somebody. Tell somebody that there's two choices. Yeshua loves you and has a plan for your life, Jesus. And Satan hates you and has a plan for your death, the Hasatan. And it comes down to it. It's a really simple choice, isn't it? It's really simple. And choose that way. Choose to love and grow. Learn how to let go of being stupid and gain wisdom to change your future. Best thing ever. Go read Proverbs chapter 8. And then I want you to pray. Pray the Shema first and always, because that's what we're supposed to do. Hear Israel, the one God is our God. Worship Him with all your heart, strength, and mind. Do that. And then pray, Our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For yours is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever, ever. Amen. And then, once you do those two things, ask Him, will you please give me a product to launch that can be mass produced by someone else so that I can create a revenue of income so that my children, my children's children, and my children's children's children can benefit from it when I am gone. Will you give me that strategy today? Will you give me that logistical idea, that tactic to employ? Give it to me today and help me begin to create the thing you want me to create. All right? It can be a new idea for a Band-Aid, right? And I've seen in my life 500 ideas for Band-Aids. What do I go back to? The long, elastic, clear ones. And that's all I really want to use ever. Whoever invented that has my business. If you can create intellectual property, and maybe it can be a mechanical patent for a process patent, maybe it can be patented, it can be trademarked, you know, something beneficial to humanity, right? Don't go out there and buy and create a gun that turns into a dildo. Don't do that. That's bad. Whatever, you know, a new torture chamber. But create something beneficial to humanity, and then do that, and then make that today, and then set yourself up for success, and like just a genius. Like, wow, what if I had a bolt? Okay, there's a new type of screw that I've been using that has the long, right? It's got the head and it's got the shank and it's got the twisty, but right here at the very top, it's got a different backwards, different type of rotating on it, and it's to hold it in to decking, so you can bring it up. Anyway, screws are different. There's 1,000 things about screws that I didn't know before the other day, because I had two pieces of wood I was trying to marry together, and they wouldn't leave that small gap, and I was like, ah. And then I found out this, and I'm like, oh, now they join. Ask God to give you an idea, and if it's a piece of art, you know, if you fail, keep going, because you're going to make some more stuff. But I believe that God can give you an invention that will change the world, that you can create, and maybe somebody's going to just buy it right out. Somebody's going to buy it right out, and then you can just own that thing. You know, you've heard of this in Silicon Valley. People go out there and they make this thing, and then they just get bought out. Like, oh, I made, you know, Snapchat. Okay, my friend BA Jake Blackstock made a thing called Bitstrips, and Bitstrips was bought by Snapchat, and now Bitstrips is no longer there, but Bitmojis is there. And so you remember that when they started flooding Facebook, Bitmoji in Snapchat. Now you can go make your own Bitmojis and whatever. Bit avatars. They never really got a good name because Bitstrips was pretty cool, and I had a lot of fun with Bitstrips. And they had a good product. And they got bought out. They just got bought out. Actually, one day for April Fool's Day, Tom and Dorian and Jake and Dave put up on their website, hey, we're down right now, but it was April Fool's Day. Hey, we're down because we got bought by Microsoft. So I think that they knew that they were that good. They were just waiting. I actually love those guys. Hold on a second, I'll show you something that hardly anyone's ever seen. They had an original invention before they went to bit strips. They had something called Griddleville, and I own one of the only copies in the world of the Griddleville. This is what they call a J card or a DVD case. Hold on, you ready? I'm gonna get this out here. Oh yeah, slick and good. So Griddleville was its own, and so this was the things you could do with it. But here's the thing about Griddleville. They liked the comics so much that they decided to make the engine the thing that they worked on. So it wasn't about the final product, really. So they just took their engine that they made and said, hey, why don't we just invite everybody else to go to this and fiddle with this engine? And so that's how they got their money. They sold bit strips for an undisclosed amount. I think they all kind of got rich, and we never saw them again. They're out there, they're doing their own thing. But yeah, that's the story of bit strips and Bitmoji. All came from Griddleville. So I want you guys to have a good day. Go pray. Go make the thing. Go do the thing. And I'll pray for you now. Hey, Dad, these guys need your help, and so do I. And bless them and take care of them. Amen. All right. See you later. Bye. Oh, now you got to watch me fiddle with the stopping. Okay, stop streaming.